Usul di bawah Peraturan Mesyuarat 669 oleh Yang Berhormat Ipoh Timur bagi maksud Bekalan B8 Jabatan Peguam Negara.
Sila.
Terima kasih Tuan Ketua, Tuan Pengerusi. Saya berdiri bercadang bahawa perbelanjaan diluluskan dengan syarat dikurangkan sebanyak RM10 daripada maksud Bekalan 8 Jabatan Peguam Negara kod 10,000 Emolumen, iaitu dengan memotong gaji Peguam Negara sebanyak RM10. Tuan Pengerusi, pada 14 hari bulan April 2010 berbalas kepada kenyataan saya call for RCI to conduct full inquiry on whether Israeli agents had infiltrated Bukit Aman, yang dipaparkan di blog saya pada 10 hari bulan April 2010. Saya menerima email yang berikut dari Datuk Mat Zain bin Ibrahim yang antara lain menyatakan, oleh kerana email dalam bahasa Inggeris, saya meminta izin baca itu email. My response are confined to certain remarks only which YB made in the above article. They are reproduced below. Quote, itu artikel saya. A good case in point was the 1998 Black Ice attack on Datuk Seri Anwar, dengan izin oleh nama dinamakan itu dalam email dan bukan kawasan. But the then Inspector General of Police in the very inner sanctum of Bukit Aman, just some fortnight after losing his high positions as Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister. The top police leadership even got the then Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Dr. Mahathir, to declare publicly that Anwar's black eyes could be self-inflicted when Anwar was nearly beaten to death by the then Inspector General of Police in Bukit Aman. Finally, only an independent Royal Commission inquiry could delve out the truth about Anwar's black eyes assault. Itu dalam kenyataan saya. Dan email Datuk Mazin kata, I have to say it point blank that YB's remark as above are incorrect. I can blame YB for having made such remarks, since you did not have sight, nor will you ever be allowed to have sight of the investigation paper IP which I put up. However, for YB's benefit, I would suggest you have a look at the copy of my letter dated 15 April 2009, which I wrote to the advisory board and the various committees of MACC to have a better understanding of what exactly transpired during the course of the investigation. I can vouch that the top police leadership too never saw the IP. I never briefed them, nor took any instructions from them pertaining to the Black Eye investigation. I was totally independent. I dealt directly with the AG's representative, Tan Sri Abdul Ghani Patel, then Datuk Ghani Patel, a senior DPP in AG's chambers, and no others. It is also not correct for YP to say that top police leadership that got to Datuk Sri Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, the PM then, TDM, to declare publicly that Anwar's black eye was self-inflicted. It was I who met TDM on 8 October 1998 at about 8:15 AM at the PM's office. That was less than 2 weeks from the time I was appointed the IO. I told TDM without hesitation that DSAI, Datuk Sri Anwar lah, short form, DSAI's black eye was due to assault, and that the assailant was Tan Sri Rahim Noor, TSRN sekarang, himself, and that no one abetted TSRN. I gave my word to DDM that there would not be any cover-up in the investigation, and that the IP will be completed in 2 weeks' time from then and handed over to the AG for further actions. I must say that YB's remarks say that only after the RCI, or Royal Commission inquiry, was formed that the truth was known is also incorrect. In fact, the assailant in this case was identified by the police themselves, which I conveyed to TDM on 8 October 1998. I have to state in defense of the police that PDRM are able to conduct a no-holds-barred investigation, and the IP in point was the probe into the Black Eye incident in 1998. I assure YB that the comments I made above were all recorded in detail in the investigation diary, ID, and the special running report to the AG's chambers, which are still in the IP. Some parts are attached to my letter dated 15 April 2009 to the MACC. One must follow the events that led to the establishment of the RCI by the government in order to appreciate why it was set up. In short, the delay in completion of the investigation was due to the unprofessional manner the IP was handled by the AG's chambers, and in particular by Tan Sri Gani Patil himself. I can say without fear or favour that if there were misleads, then it was Gani Patil who misled, and if there was an manipulation of evidence, then it was he who initiated them. PDRM's position regarding this investigation was firm in that it shall be done without fear or favour, and to leave no stone unturned, and to get it over as soon as possible, irrespective of whoever the assailant be. That was what exactly we did, and it was I who recommended to charge DSRN under Section 323 Penal Code for assaulting DSAI well before the RCI was set up. YB is fully aware that DSAI have lodged a report on 172008 alleging 4 individuals, namely Gani Patil, Musa Hassan, one Dr. Abdul Rahman, Yusuf, and myself, to be involved in fabricating evidence in the Black Eye investigations. This case was investigated by MACC. On 11 March 2009, YB Nazri Aziz, maaf oleh kerana itu nama dalam bukan kawasan, announced in Parliament that a 3-member independent panel appointed as DPPs under the CPC by the Solicitor General to study the investigation into DSAI's allegations cleared Gani Patil and Musa Hassan of any wrongdoing. YB Nazri also mentioned that the panel's decision in Musa Hassan's unanimous 3-0, while Gani Patil was by a majority 2-1. The 3 orang ialah mantan hakim, 2 daripada Mahkamah Persekutuan dan seorang daripada Mahkamah Rayon, Datuk Abdul Qadir Sulaiman, Datuk Wira Muhammad Noor Ahmad dan Datuk Muhammad Noor Abdullah. Sabong akan habis. For YB's information, it was the result of this announcement that I wrote the 15 April 2009 letter to the Advisory Board of MACC. Among the issues I raised was that DSAI alleged 4 people to have fabricated the evidence, but the panel cleared only 2 persons, namely Gani Patil and Musa Hassan. So I wanted to know my position and demanded that I be cleared. The details are found in my letter. The other important point which I raised in that letter was about the validity of the appointment of the panel members as DPPs under the CPC by the Solicitor General. I pointed to the Advisory Board that as far as I know, the SG have no rights or power under the CPC to appoint any qualified persons as DPPs. The only person that have the rights and powers to do so is the public prosecutor, which must be exercisable by the PP personally, as stipulated in Section 3764 CPC. I also stated in my letter that the SG only have the powers of a DPP, and as such, if the SG was the one to have appointed the panel members, then the panel was not lawfully constituted. As such, the panel's decision or findings are useless and null and void. I went further to state that should the AG himself was the one who appointed the panel members, then the issue of serious conflict of interest would arise, since it was the AG himself who was opposed to be adjudicated in this case. Based on my interpretations of Section 376 of the CPC, and having been advised of the same, I am of the view that the clearance given to Gani Patil and Musa Hassan are unlawful based on grounds that the panel was not legally constituted. The other point is that YB Nasri clearly stated that the panel's decision on Gani Patil was by a majority 2-1. Notwithstanding the validity of the panel members' appointment, one Dr. Abdul Razak Musa, the Director of Legal and Prosecution Department MACC, have affirmed in his affidavit dated 30th April 2009 and filed in the ongoing in the sodomy case that the decision by the panel on both Musa Hassan and Gani Patil are unanimous. So here either YB Nazri or Raza or both did not tell the truth. Raza further affirmed in the same affidavit that based on the findings of all the panel members, he closed the case against Gani Patil only. This could also be taken to mean that the case against the other 3, namely Musa Hassan, Dr. Rahman and myself, are still ongoing. To me, this is just ridiculous when the evidence on Gani Patil are so obvious, and yet the MACC closed the case against him only. It only shows that the MACC and the chambers are prepared even to go to the extent of affirming false affidavit to screen Gani Patil from legal punishment. For YB's information, on this, Razak is the counsel for MACC in the Teo Beng Hawk inquest dengan self-regulation fame, Sampai para yang akhir, yang berhormat, I do not wish to write it more than I should. I hope my response to your article will not take much of the time to comprehend. And lastly, I can assure you that the facts are disclosed above are easily verified. Apart from that, I've given my written undertaking to MACC and the AG's chambers that I'm prepared to disclose those facts in any judicial proceedings concerning the matter. Tuan Pengerusi,